She doesn't call, she doesn't text first, she acts normal in public, maybe even colder than normal. And still, something about the silence feels louder than the words ever did. That's the part most people don't know how to read, not because the signs aren't there, but because when emotion gets involved, perception gets weak. You stop seeing what is, you start seeing what you want. And in that gap, people embarrass themselves, chase too hard, beg for clarity from someone who is already giving it, just not in the language they expected. So before we go deeper, subscribe if you're here for truth over fantasy, for growth over ego, for the kind of clarity that saves you from wasting months of your life on mixed signals. Not because this channel needs another number, but because you need a place that keeps pulling you back to center when emotion tries to drag you off course. Because this subject is dangerous when you approach it half awake. A woman missing you does not automatically mean she's ready for you. It does not automatically mean she's healed, honest, available, or brave enough to do something about it. That distinction matters more than most men realize. Here's what this really means. When she misses you but won't admit it, the truth is not hidden in dramatic confessions. It's hidden in contradiction, in the gap between what she feels and what she allows herself to do. And if you don't understand that gap, you will misread her restraint as indifference, or worse, misread her emotion as invitation. Both mistakes. A lot of men are taught the wrong lesson here. They think if she misses you, that's your green light to re-enter, push, convince, reopen the door with enough persistence and enough emotional speeches. No, that's not confidence. That's impatience dressed up as devotion. Missing someone is emotional reality. Choosing them is behavioral reality. Those are not the same thing. And if you confuse them, you will end up trying to build a future on a feeling that never matured into a decision. The first secret sign is this. She finds indirect ways to stay connected to your presence without directly moving toward you. She watches your stories fast. She asks about you through mutual friends in a casual tone that sounds almost accidental. She resurfaces around places, conversations, or digital spaces where she knows there's a chance of crossing your orbit. Not enough to make herself vulnerable, just enough to not fully disappear. That matters because distance usually simplifies things. If someone is truly done, life starts reorganizing around your absence. Their curiosity fades, their attention relocates. But when she misses you and won't admit it, she keeps tiny windows open. Tiny, that's the key. She doesn't throw herself through the door, she leaves the curtains slightly open, enough to see if you're still there. Enough to feel you without having to risk rejection. And a weak man sees that and gets excited too early. He thinks, there it is, she still wants me. So he floods the space, he sends the long message, he brings up the past, he tries to convert subtle emotional leakage into a full reunion. And the moment he does, she pulls back again. Why? Because what she was managing was not desire alone, it was conflict. That's the hard truth. A woman can miss you deeply and still resist you deliberately, not because her feelings are fake, but because her feelings are not the only force inside her. Pride is there, fear is there, old wounds are there, her memory of what went wrong is there, her need for control is there, sometimes even shame is there. She doesn't just miss you, she also remembers what being close to you cost her. She remembers confusion, instability, disappointment. Or maybe she remembers how much power you had over her emotions, and that scares her more than losing you. That's avoidance, not absence of feeling. Avoidance. And once you understand that, you stop romanticizing silence. You stop treating every sign like a promise. You start reading the full psychology instead of the fragment that flatters your ego. The second sign is emotional inconsistency when contact does happen. Not chaos for the sake of chaos, something more human than that. She may respond warmly, then disappear. She may bring up a memory out of nowhere, then act distant the next day. She may ask a personal question, then retreat when the conversation starts to feel real. She may seem touched by your presence and then suddenly formal, brief, almost guarded. Most people mislabel that as games. Sometimes it is, but not always. Sometimes it's internal friction. Sometimes missing you reactivates emotion she thought she had under control. And the moment she feels herself leaning, she directs. She pulls back to protect her pride, her healing, or the version of herself she's trying to become. If you've ever tried to quit something that still had a grip on you, then you understand this. The hand reaches before the mind agrees. Think about the psychology underneath it. People don't only run from what they hate, they also run from what still has the power to break their composure. That's why the strongest emotional reactions are often the least straightforward. Indifference is simple. Unresolved attachment is complicated. If she truly felt nothing, consistency would be easy. What creates turbulence is the presence of emotion colliding with resistance. But again, and this is where self-respect matters, her inconsistency is information, not instruction. It tells you something is unresolved. It does not tell you to become the solution. Too many men hear emotional static and think it's their job to rescue the signal. No, let people become clear before they become close. The third sign is the one almost nobody talks about. She becomes strangely aware of how you are changing. Not in a loud, congratulatory way, more like subtle scanning. She notices your discipline, your calm, your absence of performance. She reacts to your growth even when she doesn't openly validate it. Sometimes she goes quiet when she sees you're no longer trying to pull something from her. Sometimes she becomes more curious precisely because you've stopped chasing certainty from her. Why? Because one of the hidden rules of seduction is that real attraction is not fed by neediness. It is sharpened by emotional self-possession. When you become harder to provoke, harder to hook, harder to destabilize, people feel the shift. They may not admit it, they may not even understand why it affects them, but they feel it. And this is where men get tested, because the immature part of you wants to perform your growth for her. It wants to make sure she notices. It wants to send the polished photo, the clever line, the strategically detached energy. But real growth does not advertise. It stabilizes. It changes your timing, your standards, your reactions, your willingness to let silence be silence. There's a man you've met before, or maybe you haven't met him yet, but you know exactly who he is when he walks into a room. He's not loud, he's not trying to dominate the air, he doesn't scan the room for validation. He's composed, present. If someone pulls away from him, he doesn't collapse into obsession. If someone returns, he doesn't instantly surrender his center. He listens, he watches, he lets behavior reveal character over time. He has work to do, people he cares about, a life that does not pause because one person became uncertain. He can love deeply, but he does not beg to be chosen. That's not coldness.
That's discipline. That's emotional adulthood. And that archetype matters because this entire conversation can go wrong if you listen to it from a place of hunger. Hunger makes you interpret every sign in the direction of hope. Discipline makes you interpret signs in the direction of truth. One keeps your dignity, the other bargains it away. The real-life cost of misunderstanding, this is brutal. You lose months in limbo. You start building imaginary conversations in your head. You answer breadcrumbs with devotion. You become emotionally loyal to someone who is still undecided about whether access to you is even good for them. That kind of confusion drains your confidence slowly, not all at once, quietly. You start checking your phone more, thinking less clearly, doubting your standards, calling emotional chaos chemistry, because admitting the truth would force you to let go. And people do this every day. They don't get destroyed by one heartbreak. They get eroded by repeated self-abandonment, by staying too available to ambiguity, by treating longing as proof of compatibility. It isn't. So what do you do if you recognize these signs? You do less than your impulse wants and more than your self-respect requires. You stop trying to decode every detail in real time. You stop forcing contact just to relieve your own uncertainty. You let her actions come fully into view. If she reaches, you respond with calm, not with stored-up emotional pressure. If she sends a signal, you don't immediately turn it into a future. You stay grounded in what is actually happening now. That shift sounds simple, but it changes everything because the moment you stop chasing hidden emotion and start honoring visible behavior, your entire energy changes. You no longer ask, "How do I get her to admit she misses me?" You ask, "Is this connection capable of honesty, effort, and peace?" That is a better question, a stronger question, a question asked by someone who is no longer auditioning for love. And sometimes the answer will be yes. Sometimes distance matures people. Sometimes reflection softens pride. Sometimes two people really do find their way back, with more wisdom, more steadiness, more truth. That happens. But when it happens in a healthy way, it doesn't need to be dragged into existence. It becomes clearer over time, not more confusing. Warmer, not more erratic. Braver, not more hidden. And sometimes the answer is no. She misses you, but she still won't choose with clarity. She feels, but she does not act. She looks back, but she does not build forward. And your job in that moment is not to prove your worth harder. Your job is to accept the information and keep your life moving. Because your power was never supposed to come from being unforgettable to someone else. Your power comes from being unshakable with yourself, from knowing that you can care without clinging, remember without regressing, feel without folding. That is the perspective shift. The goal is not to become the man she can't get over. The goal is to become the man who does not need hidden signs to know his value. Once you reach that point, you stop living at the mercy of mixed signals. You stop needing secret evidence. You stop making a home inside someone else's hesitation. So if she misses you but won't admit it, let that truth stay where it belongs, with her. Don't rush to carry it for her. Don't turn her inner conflict into your outer instability. Let people own their feelings. Let them own their fear. Let them own their silence. And you own your direction. You get up, you train your mind, you protect your peace. You build a life so rooted in purpose that attraction becomes a byproduct, not a mission. You become harder to manipulate because you are no longer easy to confuse. You become harder to lose because you were never built on dependency in the first place. That is your reset. Not chasing closure, not begging for confession, not living off hints, standing in your own name again. Clear eyes, steady mind, strong boundaries, real warmth, but no self-betrayal. If she comes back with honesty, you'll be strong enough to evaluate it. If she doesn't, you'll be strong enough to continue. Either way, you win, because your identity is no longer tied to her uncertainty. And if this is the kind of clarity you want around love, discipline, self-respect, and human nature, subscribe and stay close to this community. This is for people who are done romanticizing confusion, done abandoning themselves for attention, and ready to build from truth, not fantasy, not ego, truth.